district, not necessarily the most friendly district. The lines changed, though, and I think Congressman Dave Loebsack might be in his final term. I don't know who our candidate's going to be over there quite yet, but I think that the district being reshaped sure does help things out. Anyway, Rob writes on the IowaRepublican.com occasionally. I say that he's kind of been on a sabbatical for a while, right? It's summer. He's got kids. He had graduation. Anyway, he's a passionate guy. He's an entrepreneur. He's a small businessman. Everything that he is, I think, conservatism embraces. So I invited him up to share a few minutes with you while we wait for Senator Santorum.
Looks like that doesn't come out. Thanks, Craig. I didn't expect to speak. I just happened to walk by and say hi to Craig, so I don't have anything prepared. But one thing I talked a lot about back in 2010, and I did jump in the 2nd District race. I got in very late and frankly, quite naively. But the one thing I talked a lot about that really weighed on me is the progressives. Think about a football game. The progressives have been driving the ball for 100 years. And they are on the 1-yard line, or at least they were in 2010. I think they're still on the 1-yard line. And to me, 2010, one thing I said a lot is there's going to be 15 or 20 or 30 folks who never aspired to be politicians who were going to get elected in 2010. And they were willing to burn the place down instead of compromise. And, people ask me a lot about compromise, and that's been discussed a lot in the news lately. And I will tell you, from my perspective, compromise is overrated. We've been compromising our values since the year 1900. And that's why we are where we are. That's why the progressives are on the 1-yard line. So 2010 was about getting some people in there that were really willing to say, I don't care if I get reelected. And I don't know if you remember, when they were talking in the news these last couple weeks about the debt ceiling, the mainstream press was incredulous. They couldn't believe that these new members couldn't be bought off, that they didn't care if they were reelected. It just didn't compute to those Washington minds. And so 2010, we got those people elected thanks to people like you all stepping up and saying and fighting. And so that was a great deal. So we've held the line. If we didn't hold the line in 2010, the progressives would have scored and it was game over for our country. But we're still trying to move the ball from the 1-yard line. We've got the ball right now. We're on the offense for the first time in a long time. But we've got to move away from the goal line, and that's what 2012 is about. We've got great candidates running in 2012. The press wants to act like we don't have good candidates because they're afraid of our candidates. Now, I happen to be supporting Rick Santorum, but I'm going to support virtually anybody on the Republican ticket that wins because we do have some very good conservative values people that won't compromise, that will again, be willing to do what's right. So 2012, we got to go out, we got to make it happen. I will tell you, as somebody who's campaigned before, had never done it before, it takes a lot of work from a lot of people. And so I'm glad to see so many people here today. I hope you all will step out, whether you support Rick like I do or you support whoever you do. Step up, volunteer, give them some money. It takes a lot of money, a lot of time. Also understand these people are working their butts off. So give them a pat on the back and thank them for what they're doing. Thank you very much. Thanks, Craig.